Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Mary.
So can you hear me now, Mary? So if you can hear me, can you say hi? Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. But I think Mary, can you hear me? I can see some people can hear me. So can we start? Mary, can we start?
Okay, so I guess everybody can hear me. So okay. So let me try to share my screen. Okay, so I just shared my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Mary, can you respond on your behalf? Okay, awesome. Okay, fine. So I think we can start. So good evening, or good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Tunde. Let me try to mute this so that I won't be distracted. Okay. So basically, we'll be talking about designs that change the world. So but before we start, I would like to go through something. What can you see on my screen right now? What can you see on my screen? Hello? What can you guys see on my screen? Oh, okay, excellent. Yeah, great. Okay, so let me start by introducing myself in a bit. I'm sure some of you, this person said did this and all of that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so once again, my name is Tunde. Yeah. Um, I'm a very curious person. I've been for several years now. I've been very curious about stuff, especially happenings around the world. So this is a picture of myself. The one by the left. I'm not sure you can see my color here. I'm the one by the left, the one with rings and the full hair and all of that. So I used to be quite chubby until what came over me and I became skinny. All right. So the basic thing about this picture is right from the beginning, I've been very, very curious. And my curiosity is really about things generally, about life, about art, about design. And I have architectural background. I studied architecture, and one thing architecture has afforded me is exposure to design, really, the essence of design in terms of problem solving and in terms of human-centered design, basically. Yeah. So let me go to the next slide. So basically, we're meant to discuss design that changed the world, but there are three concepts around this. For before I go into these three concepts, I would like to say this. Um, so for this class, we'll be going through basically case studies of similar designs in the world that have changed, people's behavior, perception, and all that. So I want it to be as interactive as possible. So I can see the chat. So if you have any question, just put in your question as we go on. I'll wait and answer your question. So, and at some point too, I'll be asking you guys some few questions. I want you to respond as soon as possible. Yeah. So basically, three concepts around this topic: design, change, and word. So let me start by asking you guys what design is. So, but before then, how many of you are designers? How many people are here? We have how many people here? Maybe how many people do we have here? Okay. So how many of you are designers? So I'm checking the chat section. I can see any response here. How many people are designers here? I can see Biodu. Oh, I'm a product designer. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Whereas I can see Biodu here. Biodu, are you a designer or an art director or a product designer? Which one? Okay, so I want to, okay, designer. Okay, interesting. So let's move on. So for those of you that are designer, so what obviously you have an understanding of what you are doing as a profession. How would you define design? So in just a sentence, definition of design. So I'm looking at the chat section. So today I want to change my perception about design. So I need an interesting definition of design, something quite captivating. So I'm looking at the chat section. So how would you define design as a designer? So there are no wrong answers. People are skeptical about writing anything. I'm looking at the chat section. I can't find anything yet. Maybe Mary, maybe you start. I'm waiting. No. So nobody's saying anything. Or should I move on? Design is a process or a product. Okay. Okay. Great. So any other definition apart from this? Design is a process of solving problems. Okay. So I like the fact that most of you, okay, providing solution to problem in such a way that the end. Oh, okay. So design. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I think it's fine. So let's move on. So basically, let's exhaust these three concepts: the concept of design, the concept of change, and the concept of word. So if we're able to exhaust these three concepts, then we bring them together to understand what we really mean by saying design changes or design change the world. So, so let's start with design. So basically, design is a problem-solving process or a product. So this means that at some point, design can be seen as a verb or as a noun. So let me give an example. Your cup is a design, obviously. Yeah, your car is a design. But beyond your cup and your car and all of that, a process you go through to achieve or to bring life the cup and the car is also known as design. So the reason why design is always a process and never gets to the end is because there's always a better design. So 10 years ago, there's a particular design for cars. But then cars 10 years ago is not exactly the car right now. The same idea, but then the designs are changing. And I will explain why designs are changing later in this presentation. So, but then let's move on. So change. So I need you guys to answer this again. So what do you think changes? No wrong answers. What do you think changes? So I'm sure you are not thinking about the change that your conductor will give you. Change. I'm sure you're not thinking about Buhari right now. Change. What is change?
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Can I say something?
Okay, you can say it.
My name is Michael. For me, change
Okay.
is a process of correcting correcting something, or maybe correcting a problem or solving a problem. That's the way I see
Okay.
change.
Okay. So it is good to agree that change is just a state of difference. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Because what you are saying is that correcting a problem, you are talking about the positive change. But you know, we can also have a negative change. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That is
Yeah.
true.
All right. So, but I like that. I like that. So I think I would
Okay.
prefer people to talk, maybe unmute and talk when they have answers to questions.
Okay, I'm muting now.
Yeah. Okay. So any other person change? Any other person? I'm waiting for just one more person. Change. Change means new experience is excellent. Yeah, I like that. Okay, improvement on something. Great. Okay, so in the absence of no other person, so I'd like to tell you a very quick story. So this is Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is a genius. I'm quite sure some of you are familiar with the works he has done. He's a scientist, and I think he was recorded as one of the most intelligent person that I ever lived. Yeah. So there was a particular day Albert Einstein went to a physics class. He was a physics professor while I like a physics class, and with his partner, with his I think assistant also, to give them a test. And when he gave them the test, the assistant asked him a question that, Einstein, why did you give these guys the same set of questions you gave this same class 1 year ago? And Einstein gave him a very simple answer. He said the questions are the same, but the answers have changed. So what that simply means is that in the context of the world or design generally, the questions are always the same, but the answers are always changing. And I'll give you a very practical example. So look at this. These are cups. These are 3 different types of cups. How many of you have used this one by the right, the last one by the right before, while growing up? The, what do you call it? Stainless cup. Yeah. So these 3 designs are solving one major problem, but in 3 different ways. So the questions are practically the same, but the answers are different. So for the first one now, the very simple question is, how do we hold the content with a material? That's the answer. But this first one is answering it in a particular way, such that it is not only holding the content, it is also revealing the content of the cup. The second one is not only holding it, but then insulating it, such that when you have like a hot content, you don't feel the hotness. The last one is transmitting the heat of the content to the outside. So different answers for the same question. So look at this. The same question, different answers. The question of how do we protect ourselves from weather condition, how do we have a shelter over ourselves? These are 3 different answers. The first one is the cavemen, during that time that they use, they stay on that, for natural caves, rocks, and all of that to protect themselves. But then it evolved over time. The question's still the same, but the answer evolved over time to become something like this, like a mud house. I'm sure some of you have seen these mud houses before. Some people still live in houses like this. And then it also evolved to something like this, very beautiful house like this. And it will constantly be evolving. Okay, so the third concept, word. So I need someone to define what you mean by word. I know it's quite ambiguous, but how can we define the term word? Anybody? Anybody? Or should I call names? I think I'm seeing some names here. Kolawole Joseph. I'm waiting on Kolawole Joseph. Is he here?
Yes.
Someone gave a definition here that I really like: a collection of codependent systems. Please, I'd like this Timileyin to explain this. Can Timileyin talk? Timileyin. Hello, Timileyin. Timileyin is not talking now. I think this Zoom thing, people are really hiding. If it was a physical class now, I'll be able to point and say, oh yeah. But now everybody's just on their bed trying to listen to the jargons I'm saying. But I need you guys to talk, really. Timileyin. Or are people very shy to talk? Age Abiodun. Mr. Age. Oh, we don't know the meaning of the word we live in. Okay, so let me just continue. So who is that? Hello? So I guess I'll just move on. Yeah. So basically, in simple language, what is reality? Now, the reason why I have to define the concept of word is for us to understand that word is not the globe. It's not what we draw when you say I draw the word. But what is simply reality? And I'll show you three different types of reality, three scenarios of reality. Now, this is a reality. Now, the world in which these people live in is different. It's probably different from the world you live in. The way they think about stuff, the way they perceive stuff, the way they interact with stuff, they interact with themselves. They are thinking every day. When they wake up, what comes to their mind, and all of that forms their reality. So their reality is different from this reality. I'm sure a lot of us are in this reality. You get, maybe not now, because everybody's at home. But I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this reality, where while you are going to work or you're coming back from work, you have to hustle your way, there's traffic and all of that. And this is another reality. This is Dubai. Yeah. The way these people think about the world is different. The way they perceive stuff is a bit different. Right? And basically, I think a lot of us are in this reality. This has been my reality for the past 3 weeks. Just a corner space, trying to do my work every day. Yeah. So basically, what can be equated to realities? So what we're trying to do is that, because I have a number of case studies I want us to take, so I wouldn't want to waste time. So what we're trying to do when we talk about design that changed the world is that we are using products and processes. Remember I said design is a product or a process. So we are using product and processes to answer questions and trigger a change in your reality. So the first thing we have to know is that um, we are doing this in a particular reality. Now, the fact that you want to change the world doesn't mean you are changing the world of everybody. You are only changing the reality of some specific people. And what are you doing with the reality? You're answering questions. And how are you answering the questions? Through designs, right? And one key thing also is that designs only trigger change. They don't cause change. And we'll talk more about that during the course of this lecture. So a very simple question is that have designs really change anything in the world? How many of you believe that designs can change the world? How many of you? If you believe that design can change the world, I can see someone here. Who's this? Okay. How many of you believe that designs can change the world? I need your response in the chat section. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So I need someone to unmute and tell me why you think design can change the world. So this thing, this concept, I also want to learn from you guys as much as I'm teaching. I also want to learn one or two things. So I need someone to just explain why you believe that you think design can change the world. How do you think design can change the world or have changed the world in the past? Anybody?
Yeah, for me, as far as Dubai is concerned,
So sorry, please. Who is talking?
Yeah, this scholar.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as design is concerned, and Dubai, design in Dubai, and currently what they are generating is based on their design, and their design is what's causing that is bringing in the tourism in the country right now, which cannot be done in other countries.
Okay. So when you talk about design in Dubai now, what do you mean? You mean the architectural design, or what exactly?
Because now when we're talking about design is not only based on graphics and all that.
Yeah.
Right now, what I'm talking about is the architectural designs of the.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So any other person? Someone said like all life is made up of design. I disagree. So who is Mubarak Abubakar? Who is Mubarak? Mubarak, can you unmute and let's talk? Mubarak. Okay, it's noisy there. So let me tell you, let me just quickly talk about what Mubarak is saying here. So Mubarak said all life is made up of design. So in a way, I totally disagree in a way because there's a difference between art and design, right? So art, everything is an art in a way. But then designs are art that are specific to problems. So the reality is that not everything you see around is solving a problem, but everything you see around is a form of art. Barak, do you understand? All right, so let's continue. So look at this. We want to establish if really design can change the world. So this is Gap. It's a familiar brand. Now Gap did a redesign some years ago, and they had to change it back. So this before and this is after. And in 6 days, they had to change it back to the before. Now I'm quite sure for some of you that are graphic designers, you say, "Oh, this is a fantastic design. Oh, see the typography. Look at that Helvetica kind of typography. Look at the simplicity. Look at the box. Look at the minimalism and all of that. Fantastic. But this is a very good design. But then they had to change it back because the target audience, they were against it, right? So this is one example. Another example is Nike. I'm quite sure that you're familiar with Nike. Nike is just a swoosh, it's just a mark. But then over the years, in the world, Nike was designed in 1971. Yeah, and now it's one of the most valuable icon in the world. So it means that this mark, this graphic design had worked well, but then this didn't work well. So this is another example. Now this is Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul is a teacher, and this is a public school. Now Mr. Paul, I'm quite sure we understand his experience when a teacher is trying to beat the hell out of the students. So the problem here is very specific. Mr. Paul is trying to reset the number 6 of this guy. Let's say this guy is Abiodun, since Abiodun has refused to talk. Let's say this guy is Abiodun, yeah, for example, and this is Mr. Paul trying to beat Abiodun to make sure Abiodun behaves well, right? But the most intriguing part of this is that Mr. Paul gave Abiodun 10 strokes, but then Abiodun just formed as if the thing is painful. But afterwards, Abiodun stood up and then it was okay. Nothing happened. So all these jargons examples I've been giving is to establish the fact that design is just a tool. Nothing more. Design is just a tool. And I tell you that a tool cannot do anything without a trigger. Now, so if the design here is the K that Mr. Abiodun is trying to use, the design here is the graphics, and the design here is the logo. Yeah. So what we're trying to establish is that the logo design here, this graphic design here, and the cane here, which is also a design, they are all tools. And you can never work to cause a change. Why? Because design only answers specific questions and triggers a change. They don't cause a change. So the fact that you try to answer questions with whatever design you're doing doesn't mean it's necessarily a change. So how do we really cause a change? I'll come back to the case study of this Mr. Paul and Abiodun because it's a very interesting one. So how do we really cause a change? 3 things: knowledge, people, and experience. Knowledge, people, and experience. Now we're going through about 5 case studies and I'll be looking at how these 3 concepts have applied to those case studies and how they've caused the change in the world. So the key thing here for me is about people, understanding people through knowledge and creating an experience around that. So let me give an example of, let's come back to this. Look at this. This is Mr. Abiodun. Something is missing here. Mr. Paul is not aware that Abiodun has some books in his bookstore. I'm sure some of you have done this while you were in school, where you put books so that when your teacher beats you, you won't feel the pain. Yeah. So, and what is missing here is that Mr. Paul is lacking the knowledge about people. That is why there's no change. And for this one, for Nike understood people, the knowledge about people, and created the experience around that. That is why Nike has been very successful. And for Gap, you forgot to understand how people behave. They forgot to understand the behavioral pattern of people. And that's why it never worked. So let me give a very practical example. Uber. Uber changed their logo recently. I think in 2016 or so, or 2018, one of the two, to something very minimal, just Uber, the name. And one of the things that brought about the change is that they did the research and discovered that their initial logo, the first logo that had the U, people resonated with that. And the only thing they could remember about Uber is that U. And they wanted that experience back. That informed something quite minimal that they eventually brought. So understanding people is key to changing their world. So you have to understand that as much as you're trying to change the world, you are not changing the entire world, you are changing the reality of people. And you cannot change the reality of people without understanding those people. And you can only understand those people through knowledge. And how do you execute that? By creating experiences. So let me quickly go to case studies. This is Google. So these are examples of brands that have changed the world, or let me say that have changed your reality. So several years ago, I'm quite sure that for some of our fathers, when they want to search about something, they have to travel to the libraries. Imagine you reside in Ife, for example, and then the only library in the West is in Lagos. You have to travel all the way from Ife to Lagos to search for the meaning of encyclopedia. let's say what you want to know is encyclopedia now. Search for that meaning. Or you have to do some hard work, right? To be able to know that meaning. But then Google changed the world, right? It changed how people search about stuff. It changed the organization of data, organization of information and all of that. And how was Google able to do that? Three things: knowledge, people, and experience. Google understand that they understand the psychological effect of the ease that comes with search, and they created an experience around that. Now, let me give you an example similar to Google. Now, look at this. This is what you see when you're trying to register for any app or whatever, or maybe sign up for something, right? But you know that this was specifically designed this way because they understand that people are lazy to read, too much information, right? If you have ever read terms and conditions or policy privacy before, let me see. Let me see you say hi. If you have ever read terms and conditions or terms of service or policy privacy before of any app. Okay, so someone is saying that it's too lazy. Okay, so I'm okay, only if I want to pay for something interesting. Okay. Okay. Great. So the issue is that it was specifically designed that way because they understand that you are lazy. You just said it. They understand that people are quite lazy to read. And the information there, they really don't want you to read it. So what they do is that they design it in such a way with the knowledge about people that people are lazy. They design it in such a way that it makes it very difficult for you to read. Because even when you click on this policy privacy or terms of service, you discover there is a lot of text. They really don't do any special graphics. The way you design your posters, you design your flyers and all of that, that's not the way terms and condition pages are designed. They are designed to, to look so quite busy and with tiny fonts because they understand the way you behave and they play around that to create an experience for you. So most people don't really go through that. So this is another example of a design that changed the world. So I was reading a book some time ago, and the author said something very intriguing. He said that 100 years ago, if they told you that there will be something flying in the sky, what would be your response? Like carrying people and flying in the sky without anything holding it. What would be your response? I told you that there will be one big bird though, that will be in the sky carrying like 150 people from one place to another. Exactly. Exactly. So I'm quite sure people's response, especially in this part of the world, people will say that's winch. That's which and yeah. Right. Okay. So but then now Antichrist or 5G. Right. I think this is the same conversation around 5G and the like, but don't let us go there because I know there are some pastors here. I can see one guy here. What's the name of this guy that looks like a pastor? This guy, I'm just seeing, what's the name of this guy? Is it? Let me check. I can't see his name more. Okay. The guy looking like wearing white shirt and a white background. The guy looks like a pastor. I think he might be against our 5G conversation, right? So coming back to this, yeah, if they told you that there will be an object in the sky carrying people that will transport people from one place to another, a lot of people will say, oh no, that's not possible. A lot of people will say that's witchcraft and all of that. So they played on the conversation around people's psychology to create something very intriguing because they understand that first, it is unimaginable for a typical individual to understand how that is possible, right? So if they now told you that, okay, for something that is flying in the sky, you should put in all the money you have with you because you think that this is beyond extraordinary. You don't even understand the concept behind it. So it becomes really very magnificent to you. You think it is something that is out of this world, and you can play on that to create an experience around that and makes it look, yeah, oh, this is premium. Then you have to pay more for this and all of that. This is one brand that I feel that have really impacted the world. This is Apple. So recently I found out that there are some people that have the latest iPhones, but then they could not afford 3 square meal. So what is special about iPhone? What is special about Apple product? So that means there's something special about it. Now I don't want to believe it's Antichrist behind it, right? So there's something we call spiritual brands. There are some brands that are called spiritual brands. So spiritual brands are brands that have leverage on those 3 concepts I mentioned earlier: knowledge, people, and experience, to create an experience that you cannot resist. So there are very few brands around the world that are spiritual. So if you know, people have killed themselves before because of Chelsea and Man U. I'm not a football fan, but I know some people that can kill a Chelsea fan because they are Man U. So that means there's something very spiritual about it. There's something very special about it. I know of some people that can use all their salary to buy MacBook. So that means there's something spiritual about it. There's something special about it. And how were they able to achieve that? Simply by understanding people and by creating an experience around that. Apple is trying to create an ecosystem. There's MacBook, there's iWatch, there's iMac, there's what else? You guys have iMac, iWatch, MacBook. Now Apple is beginning to go into cars. And what Apple is trying to do is to create an ecosystem such that you are hooked in that ecosystem. So when you have an iWatch, you can control your MacBook. You can synchronize your MacBook with your iWatch. You can synchronize your MacBook with your car. You probably can even control your car with your MacBook. So because they know that in human psychology, we love to belong to a caucus, we long to belong to a group. Because Apple has created that ecosystem, people now begin to unconsciously create small groups of iPhone users, of MacBook users, and you now begin to aspire to belong to those groups. It's simply psychology, nothing more. Apple is still the same like Samsung, but then they played more on people and experience to change their world. So let me give. Okay, I messaged him. Excellent. So let me give another example. How many of you are Malians here? If you're a Malian, let me see you. Let me see you write Malian. Chat. Mary, are you a Malian? Mary. Mary, are you a Malian? I'm asking you. Or some of you are Malian for Christ or Malian for Allah. Ah, okay. Mary is Malian for Jesus. Okay. Ah, I see. Elizabeth, I know you are a Malian. No? Because no, is Elizabeth even a Malian? I think you are a. So how do you? Okay. What's the second in command to Naira Marley? What's the name of that guy? I used to call her his Zlatan. So Liz, you are Zlatan. Bjorn is a Malian. Okay, so what I'm trying to achieve here is that I think one of the brands that disrupted or changed the world, especially in this in our reality here, Nigerian realities, Naira Marley. So I am actually doing some research on Naira Marley, and probably very soon I will do a write-up on Naira Marley. So Naira Marley has one of the best brands. Like, I'm so amazed, I'm so impressed by the amount of hard work. I don't know whether it was consciously done, or probably was unconsciously done or something. I don't know. But then Naira Marley is doing so well. Now, I'm not talking about content right now. I'm talking about the brand and how Naira Marley has played on so many brand tactics to build one of the biggest brands. So I'll give you an example. First, Naira Marley used a name. So first, we start with naming. Naira Marley used a name that you could resonate with. Naira, obviously, everybody knows Naira. And I'm quite sure even in some of his songs, he used to mention that, more Naira, so you don't know Naira. Or someone said it's unconscious, then eventually conscious. Well, it might be so, but then I feel that, you see, the way those guys do, it will amaze you that some of the things they do, they do it strategically. It might not show because they look so unserious. They look so, to you think they are not organized. They don't have a straight thinking system. They don't have all of that. But then there might be people behind the scene, maybe their brand manager or something, that are actually telling them what to do. I'm not saying that is 100% correct, but I feel that that's consciously done, right? So, like I was saying, Naira used a very, very good name, a name you could resonate with. Naira, that's money. Then Mali, Bob Mali. So Bob Mali is a legend. Okay, Mali. So Naira Mali. Oh, excellent name. Now, another thing about brands that have changed the world. You remember I was talking about Apple. They try to create an ecosystem. They try to make you belong to a group because you feel confident when you belong or when you become a member of a group, because in your mind you are not alone. What Naira did was he created that sense of belonging with Malians. And you see, one thing about being a Malian is scalable. So you can be in Jamaica and be a Malian. You can be in the US and also be a Malian. So it did not only create that sense of belonging, it also created brand standards. So brand standards and guidelines for you to become a member. I think one person that also tried to do that one time was I think Fars. Fars too is brand conscious at some point. There was a time Fars was talking about what's the name of this brand that Fars said you should register online or something. Sweet Boys Association. Yeah. But then that was too, brands was trying that was more of a premium brand, yeah. So but then normally built a brand for everybody. A brand, we call it a mass market brand, yeah, sort of. And he also created standards, no belts, for it to become a Malian. In fact, he used to say something that as a Malian, that he has some sayings, he has slangs for the ecosystem. And beyond that, another intriguing thing that Naira has also done. I'm surprised, Chao, because I'm beginning to wonder that is it the wheat that is giving this guy that inspiration of something? If it is that wheat, maybe all of us should begin to begin to take it, right? So he also was also consistent in creating content, not only content, but content that will interest the Malians. And even beyond that, he is also creating, normally over time created content that are targeted towards the target audience. But then he also began to create content that will attract people that are not necessarily target audience. We call them aspiring target audience that will interest them and bring them into being a Malian. So let me give an example. Naira Marley sang a song, Teshumole. Right. Now, I've after the release of that song, I've seen videos of churches sing that song. Why? Because now it's a Malian song, yeah, but then the content fits perfectly in several contexts. It fits into a church context. It's just for them to get one or two things, right? And then before you know it, you discover that 90% of your church members are Malian. What a very smart move, right? And it's been very consistent. Now, Mali also is creating brand ambassadors. So that's one of the things brand does. You create secondary brands that will outlive you. Because when you embody a brand and you are everything about the brand, when you die, the brand dies. So Mali now also began to breed small Malians, or don't let me call them Malians. People, so small Naira Malians, let me use them as small Naira Malians. People that will embody that persona of brand and that will project the brand even beyond him. We now began to sign some guys. What are the names of the guys? Malians in the house. So yeah, now give me those names. Even some of his friends, Zlatan. I'm sure Liz will be able to give me one or two names of the people Mali signed, right? So he signed all of those people. And okay, we are waiting on Liz. Oh yeah, we are. She's not talking. Okay, you don't know these people. Okay, right. So, very, very great brand. Very great brand. Can you give me an example of another brand in Nigeria that have that disrupted the reality here in Nigeria? Okay, so I'll give you an example. Boko Haram. So first is, I want you to know that Boko Haram is a brand. If you disagree that Boko Haram is not a brand, let me see you. Let me see you respond. If you believe that Boko Haram, so Bjorn said yes. Yes, that what? That they are a brand. Yes, Boko is a brand. Yeah. Are you surprised? Okay, so because by definition, a brand is simply a person, a group of people, a product. You are surprised. Okay. A, a person, a group of people, a company, a product, a service with a unique perception. You have an identity, right? And what really makes a brand is the consistency with the identity. Yeah, great. Yeah, so they're very consistent. It's the consistency with the identity. Now, when you think about Boko Haram, a number of things come to your mind. That is exactly the brand they are trying to build. Imagine that they say, okay, you people that live in Surulere, we have Boko Haram in your area. What are you guys going to do? You know the next thing to do. I know some of you will run back to your village. Or let's say Boko Haram writes a letter. Just like relocate. Just like this guy who wrote the letter and said, 1 million boys that they are coming to. You see, one funny thing about the 1 million boys is that it's a brand, right? And they are trying to leverage on that brand to cause chaos. Now, there may not be any 1 million brand, 1 million boys anyway. If you think about it, 1 million boys are going somewhere and they wrote a letter. First, how did they meet? Like during this lockdown, how will so many people meet during this lockdown? And do you think how they are so organized to the extent that they will? But they are leveraging on that brand equity because they know that you have a perception about 1 million boys. And they are using that opportunity to use that brand equity to do whatever thing they want to do. So like I was saying, yeah, Boko Haram, they are a brand. They are consistent with their content. They are consistent with their messaging. They are consistent with their identity. Their actions too, they are quite consistent. They have a group that they belong and they have a perception in your mind. And the perception you have about them is quite consistent. So they are a brand as well, right? So let's come back to this slide. An example, Instagram. Everybody is on Instagram. Now, I was thinking some years ago, about 2 years ago, and I thought about how the design of WhatsApp has evolved from being an app to being a community. Now, for me, I remember when WhatsApp started, WhatsApp was just a regular app. And the way it works is you save someone's number and then you can just send a message. So WhatsApp was more like a very quick messaging tool. So I can just quickly send you a message and I get back to what I'm doing and I move on. But right now, WhatsApp is now a community. Some people will wake up on WhatsApp, they will sleep on WhatsApp, they will greet their neighbor on WhatsApp, they will gist on WhatsApp, they will gossip on WhatsApp, they live their life on WhatsApp. It's more like you are on the street, you're in your house and you're going out. You can see your neighbor cooking. Yeah, you can even smell the food of your neighbor. You can ignore your neighbor. So it's now more like a community. How were they able to achieve this design that changed people's reality? 3 things: people, understanding of people, and then creating an experience. So this is TikTok. So how many of you have used TikTok when TikTok started? Since TikTok started, I want to see your reply. So I've never used TikTok. I've never downloaded it. I've not downloaded it yet. But then, oh, mute. Okay. So I read something recently that TikTok now has more than 1 billion downloads because of this pandemic. That's interesting. 1 billion is about 1/6 of the whole world. That's huge. And how was TikTok able to to this, understanding people and creating an experience around that. TikTok understand the fact that people love engagement. They people don't like to be bored. People love to be engaged. And they leveraged on the fact that this is a pandemic and a lot of people would do anything. A lot of people would do anything just to engage themselves. And they created an experience around that. And right now, they have one of the largest downloads. Yeah, and another thing, so I was having a discussion with one of my mentees yesterday, and he was talking about, was it yesterday or day before yesterday, he was talking about this dating app, Tinder, right? And the experience around Tinder, right? And it's simply psychological. The fact that first, people love to meet new people, but not only new people, they love to meet people of opposite sex, right? And they love to. So what Tinder did was Tinder introduced technology into an existing behavior. So it's an existing behavior that for a long time that a guy will just approach any lady and begin to talk conversations, and it might go beyond that and all of that. It's an existing behavior. But what they did was they introduced technology into that existing behavior and they created an experience around that. And that was how they were able to change a lot of people's work. So thank you guys. So I don't know if you have questions, but before then, hello Mary. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I would like to give like a very small exercise
Okay.
to everybody. But before then, how many people are here? We have about 20, 21, yeah?
22.
Okay, 22. Okay, excellent. Okay, right. So, but before then, I'd like to answer questions. So, do you have anybody that has questions? Or want to give us brands, or you need clarification on some part? So, if you want to respond, I would like you to unmute and talk.
What's the process of creating designs that actually change the world? They actually have such level of influence, like like the Malian brand that you talked about. What's the process of creating things like that?
Okay, so let me go back on the slide. So can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So 3 things: understanding of people and creating an experience around that. So the reason why I never give a list of things or process, a sequential process on how to create a design that will disrupt the world is because there are different processes and ways to achieving different kinds of design, right? But then everything is revolved around these 3 basic things: understanding people and creating an experience around that. So let me give an example. Let's be very literal here. Let's talk about, say, a flyer design that everybody's familiar with. So the question might be that how do we change the world with just a flyer design? Which is a very valid question. So the first thing you have to understand is that the flyer design itself cannot change the world. The flyer design is a tool to changing the world. What will change the world is your knowledge about the people that will use that flyer design and creating an experience around that. So Nike logo was designed for $35 in 1971. And in fact, The co-founders of Nike, they never liked the logo. They just went for it. Say, okay, let's just go with something. But what really gave Nike that value over the years that changed the world, really, is not the logo. It's the way and the story. The way the logo has been used and the story that has been told about the logo. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, right now, because of the value the logo carries, some people can afford to draw just Nike on their neck, tattoo Nike on their neck, because they believe that they are carrying value. Some people will put Nike on a shirt in Alabama market. Why? Because they think that because they have that mark on it is a mark of value. But really, the mark itself is useless, it's valueless. What gave that mark the value you think it has is the story that has been told around it with the knowledge of people. So let me be more specific. You know, I talked about word being a reality of some people, right? And the reason why you have to um, understand people is that for different kinds of people, there are different kinds of realities. If you go to a village, let me go back to the slide. Okay, I think this is a very practical example. If you come here, for example, and you say that, and you approach maybe one of these guys, and you say, what should I do for you to make you happy? You probably say, okay, get me 3 Okada, and then so just 3 Okadas, and then I have a very good house in the village and all of that. So that's the reality. He thinks that when he has 3 Okadas, you'll be able to make money daily and you'll be doing fine. But if you come here and you say, what should I do for you to make you happy? Someone in Lagos will probably tell you that I want to have a house, Banana Island, or in Lekki Phase 1 or something, because that is reality. Yeah. For some people, like here, their reality, the reality that make them happy is probably good health, because they have it all, maybe. And what they want is just good health. They just want to be happy. They want to have a family. They want to be good. And you can only understand this reality by understanding people. And you can only be able to affect that reality by creating an experience. I hope that answers your question. People and experience, knowledge.
Yes, it does.
So do you have any other question? Do you have another question? Okay, so why you guys also thinking about some other questions? Yeah, so I have a quick one for you guys. I think all the time. This is past 4, yeah. So I need about 3 people randomly that will talk about an existing reality, and then no, let me say reality, an existing design, and how we can use these three concepts of knowledge, people, and experience to change the world in that reality. In that reality. Hello? Hello? So sorry, I had a call. Yeah. So is the classwork clear?
The other has a question.
Okay.
Okay, Biodun said the question is not clear.
Okay, the classwork is not clear. Okay, so I need 3 people just to volunteer to talk about an existing design, right? And how to use that design to change the world. So when I mean the world, I mean a particular reality. So we should change the whole world with a design. I'm saying that in the context of that reality that the design is existing, how can you use that design to reality? So I think let me give a practical example. So the first thing is, let's use Lagos as an example. Lagos is a reality, is our reality. Most of us are in Lagos. Yeah. And so let me use a design for it. We're trying to solve the problem of transportation from one place to another. Oh no, don't let me even use that. Let's say keke and bikes have been banned in Lagos. So first, our word is Lagos. The problem we're trying to solve is with the ban of keke and bikes. How do we move from one place to another? How do we do our normal daily stuff? So how can we use designs to change that reality? So right now we have Uber. Uber is an option. We have BRT. Yeah. So how do we use other designs, or how do we use an existing design to change that reality for better? So I'll give you guys 2 minutes to think about that. Is it clear now, Yodo?
Yes, it's clear now.
Okay. So how many people are volunteering to do this? I think Yodo is number 1. So Biodun is number 1. Should I pick randomly? Yes, Biodun, I want you to. Should I pick randomly? Let me look for which Evangeline. Oh, okay. I think I remember. Evangeline. Is that correct?
Name is Evangeline.
Hey, she, I remember that day. Evangeline. Evangeline. Then Liz. Then Aremu. Oh, yeah. Biodun, let's start now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So, I think for me, when the Okada was banned and we had to look for ways around it, what I did was I just linked up with Ish. Sorry, another call came in.
You linked
So I
up with
just linked.
Ish.
Yeah. A call came in. Sorry. I linked up with my co-workers that live around. So more like we meet at a particular place. I go to wait for them at a particular place, then they pick me off. And so I think there has been discussions around if there's a mobile app or something where people can possibly share their rides. Maybe there are already usually cars on the road normally. So you could just link up based on specific areas you are going to and then stuff like that. Yeah. So that's a possible way out. Thank you.
Okay. So the solution you're trying to suggest right now is to have probably a mobile app that will enable people to share rights. This is very fantastic. Now, the reason why so let's try to apply. Aremu. Okay. Aremu, I'll go over the question again. No worries. So the reason why I asked the question is for us to see how these 3 concepts come into play in providing solutions that will disrupt the world. So the first thing is that you understand what people want and the behavior around people. Now, sharing rights is an existing behavior in Lagos and even outside Lagos. People practically just, when they are going home, they just pick people, they pay them and, around that and all of that. So we are leveraging on the knowledge about people to create an experience, as simple as that. So if we remove people from the equation, let's say the solution we want is maybe we want to create a flying car, sort of. Let's say a flying car. If you bring a flying car, if you take a flying car to somewhere like Ibadan, it's a pity that you and your family are the ones that will be using the flying car, especially for the first 1 year, because there's a psychology, there's a behavioral pattern around people in Ibadan that typically they associate things that are very mysterious like that to something very spiritual. Also, they are not guaranteed about their safety. And even in somewhere like Lagos, a lot of people will be skeptical about things like that. So you can only achieve your solution by understanding how people behave, having an in-depth understanding about people, and you can create your experience around that. So let me go over the question again. So the question is, or the task is, use an existing design or an existing problem around you and create a design that will change that world, that will change that problem in that world, in that reality. So I hope it's clear, RM. Okay, so let's take Liz next here. Liz, do you have anything for us?
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I don't have anything on transportation one, but I was thinking about solar energy, like in Lagos generally, only specific of sufficient power supply per day, solar energy that maybe like people that can't really afford maybe like more expensive energy forms like inverters or maybe pay for prepaid, they are like the target audience, like maybe like middle or lower class in that sense. So and the design is solar energy. So I would be thinking that in that regards it would be creating a campaign around surrounding supply your own energy, be your own NEPA in that sense. For me, I think it will be more informative, like understanding the people in that area, knowing that possibly their means they can't afford that, then their understanding of maybe like energy or English that sense. So the campaign will probably be in pidgin and yeah, I don't know. I can't say for apps because not everybody uses Android phone. I know. So basically, yeah, that's what I have on the something.
Liz, I have a question for you before you go.
Okay.
So, what problem are you trying to solve exactly?
And power supply. What like call it epileptic power supply.
Okay, so how do you want to solve that?
Providing solar energy, like solar panels.
Okay. Okay. So you are using design as a tool or a campaign as a tool.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
the tool.
Okay. All right. So okay, thanks. So I think I should give a more direct question, because from what you are saying, I think I get the fact that I get what you're trying to say, but that's not exactly what I'm asking for. So let's take a so let's take Fireboy, for example, right? Fireboy is a musician, yeah, in Nigeria. So obviously he's doing well, but then how do you think Fireboy as a brand, how do you think you can disrupt the world of music? So hell, let's be more specific about that. How do you think you can disrupt the world of music? Or how do you think you can do better? Because now sometimes the issue is that some people, some designs or some brands are actually solving problems. But how do you break to the how do you break the wall to becoming a brand or a design that will change the world? So again, when I talk about world, I mean in the context of reality. So I'm talking about the world of music right now. So how do you think Fireboy can do better? So let me give you an example of some things about some realities about Fireboy right now. Now, Fireboy sings well, but then not so many people see his face. Let's compare his brand with um, Naira Marley. I'm sure right here that a lot of you that have heard Fireboy song before, you don't know how Fireboy looks. If you know how he looks, if you can recognize him, let me see you in the chat box. Let me see you say something. If you know how he looks, just say hi. Oh, okay. Okay, good. So the issue is that why Fireboy cannot become that, cannot become a disruptive brand, especially in the world of music right now, is because he's creating an experience, but then it's not particularly exhausting the knowledge about people. People associate you with your identity. It is not only about the experience, not only about the content, but also about the identity. One of the persons that have built a very good brand in that line also is Fela. Fela has good content, awesome identity, and he was able to merge all of that to create a fantastic brand. So again, three things: the knowledge about people. People want to see who is behind the content. People want to associate what you are saying with who you are, with how you look. Okay, so Aremu, Aremu,
Hello, can you hear me?
yeah, what's up? Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, fine.
Okay,
Okay, the
so
same Fireboy example or something else.
Fireboy, yeah, Fireboy.
Okay, so when you said Fireboy, it was exactly the same example that you've given that came to my head. But I think the other thing is kind of community. For example, with respect to Fela also had a Kalakuta Republic, which was like his home, and anybody could literally come there, and they had the shrine and all of those things, which is one of the things that kept what do you call it, Fela going even after his death and all of this. So I feel so first and foremost, so just like you said, he needs a face that people can associate with the brand, which is like the logo and everything for most brands. I feel for Fireboy right now, I think that's the really important thing for him as a brand. Then yeah, for me, Fireboy, that's what I think is really important for him as a brand. Plus, I'm not really a music person, so I might not be able to really talk much about what can make a musician stand out and all of those things.
So what do you think is the most successful musician right now in Nigeria?
I would say Whiskey.
So why do you think Whiskey is doing good?
Good. Okay. International collaborations. Like it's more like a household name, kind of. So it's not really about the song these days. It's just the way I personally view Whiskey. So the thing is, there are other people whose song I enjoy more than Whiskey, but I think Whiskey is the most successful brand right now because of the people he associates himself with.
Okay. So okay, Beyonce said Burna Boy. Now, the reason why all of these examples are doing well is because of these three things: knowledge, people, and experience. Right?
Yeah.
So they understand people and they create an experience around that.
Experience, yeah.
You get. Now, Whiskey now, Whiskey is not is not a pop of culture. Now, well, what do I mean by that? Now, if Whiskey should wear a particular cap today,
Yes.
it becomes a style.
Yeah.
Right? If Whiskey, or don't let me even use Whiskey alone. Let's say if Abadiboye should say something about Christianity today, a lot of people
Yeah.
will believe him. Why? Because the brand, he was able to get to that level because he understands people and created an experience around that. So this Burna Boy too. Now, I've been amazed because Burna Boy for several years has been singing this same kind of music,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
For several years, the same content. But then, just a few years ago, Burna Boy came into limelight. How? Experience. It is not about content.
Okay. So a quick question on that.
Okay.
So does it mean that at times it gets like it takes time for people to adopt to a reality? Because just like you said, Burna Boy had been producing the same thing like over the years, and people's reality was probably like, okay, listen to Olamide, listen to Reminisce, listen to other artists at that point in time. The sound was not really what people were after. So was it that it took a while before people now said, oh, this experience is best for us? Or how was he able to break through with that?
Okay. So let me give you an example. Look at this. Look at my slide.
Okay.
This is cup.
Yes.
For three experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Now,
Yes.
it is not about changing. See, you cannot change people. You can only change yourself. We have not changed. We are still that same person or same people 5 years ago when Burna Boy is not known. That is that same kind of people, right? But he is the one that changed by understanding people and creating an experience around that.
Kind of experience.
Do you understand?
Okay. Yes, I do.
Right? So let me use this as a practical example. This is cup. Now, for cup number one here, see, they are performing the same function. For cup number one here, is only a content in style. Now, I can put Coke inside this content, inside this cup, and people can see it. It's more stylish.
Yes.
I can use this for a wine. That's entirely new experience. For cup number two, I can have a print on it,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably not very easy with cup number one, cup number three.
Yeah.
That's another experience, right? For cup number three, another experience entirely.
Of course.
So what Burna Boy and the likes and all of them have done is that they've leveraged on they've so skill is not a thing of negotiation. You are good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apple and Samsung in terms of function. In fact, Samsung may be better in terms of some functional features than Apple. Still go for Apple. Why? Because of experience,
Experience.
right? So one of the first things that helped Burna Boy was that he began to push content that are quite emotional, things that people could relate with, right? And there was a
Yeah.
time Burna Boy did a tour around. I was talking about people. You see, nothing, because you are creating a solution for people. So there is nothing you are doing that should be independent of the knowledge of people. You have to understand people, right? So Burna Boy worked on establishing relationship with people and then creating a consistent brand, right, around that, and creating an experience around that as well. Now, Wizkid for for Wizkid is quite conscious about some of the content he pushes. If you see Wizkid physically, there's a way he carries himself. Wizkid tries to do um, like how will I put it? Like that vibrant young guy, that vibrant, stylish young guy. You get what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Which is different from the way Burna Boy carries himself. It's different from the way Davido carries himself. Wizkid is more like, oh, I'm this premium and this, but Davido is more like accommodating, oh, you come and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So those are conscious brands they were trying to build over the years, and that attracted the kind of perception they have right now. Have I answered your question?
Yes, you have.
Or you need clarification anyway?
No, I'm clear, perfectly clear.
So I need one more person. Evangeline. Evangeline. So do you understand the question, Evangeline? You just came back online. Do you understand the question?
I just came back online. So I don't know. I've not been here for like 5 minutes now.
Okay. But you were here from the beginning of the lesson. Okay. So let me tell you the question so that you try to answer it.
Yes, I was.
So
Yes, I was.
so in a particular reality or in a particular world, can you recognize? Say, oh well, let me be very direct. How do you think Mr. Biggs can take their place back? You understand?
By
Now, I remember several years ago, Mr. Biggs is one of the top. Hello?
You said out by.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. I can hear you.
So how do you think Mr. Biggs can take their place back in the market? Now, you are breaking. Oh, hello, Evangeline. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So you know Mr. Biggs now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let's even start. What do you think happened to Mr. Biggs? Now, several years ago, Mr. Biggs used to be top restaurant around. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do you think happened to them, and how do you think they can get back on track? Or you think they are dead totally?
Well, Mr. Biggs is a special case. What happened to them is that they stopped listening to people. Like they stopped creating an experience around their whole brand because if they did not, like, they would not have, and the way they can get is if they go back to the the very beginning. That is understanding people and trying to create.
Okay. So how do you think they can get back? I mean, the other has something to say. Well, you finish what you're saying first. So how do you think they can get back?
I already said that they can get back. I already said that they can get back. Oh.
Oh, okay. By what? I didn't get that.
I said by understanding people and creating an experience around their brand. Why Mr. Biggs is the way it is because Mr. Biggs is still, they are not trying to keep up with what is going on. They're not trying to keep up with the trends that are happening right now, unlike other people, other restaurants around. Like they are, Mr. Biggs is gone because of their, would I say, their laziness to compete.
Okay.
It's like the way Nokia is in the telecommunication.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Great. Before I take Bjorn's question, now something important that Evangeline just mentioned, and there are three case studies around that. I have Mr. Biggs, I have Nokia, and I have BlackBerry. These are brands that have changed the world, or let me say, changed the world in the sense that have changed our reality about stuff. I remember that BlackBerry changed our reality when we used to think, you know. But then what happened to them? Because they were not, so as the point, let me go back to the slide. So because they stopped understanding people and stopped creating an experience around that. So one of the things that affected um, BlackBerry and even Nokia is slow to evolve. Slow to evolving. They didn't evolve because people were evolving and the brand wasn't evolving. So they were not taking the knowledge about people so seriously, but they were concerned about keeping what they have on ground. So I think someone just wrote something. Coca-Cola knew my mom. So Biodu.
Yes, I was going to talk about Mr. Biggs.
Okay.
If this my perspective is valid. So I remember when I was young, then it was our delight that, oh, take me to Mr. Biggs. When they asked every young person, I can't relate it to being an adult, or I don't know how their thinking was towards Mr. Biggs. But me as a young guy then, like that was our Christmas wish, our any birthday wish or anything. I want to go to Mr. Biggs. I want to go to Mr. Biggs. Now, one thing I know that they didn't do, which others did, was Chicken Republic came, and they were obviously Chicken Republic. So you could get fried chicken, roasted chicken. They had other special delicacies, but they were majorly chicken. You don't get fish in Chicken Republic. Just know once you are there, you are in for chicken. That's one. Two, they came up with different combo packs for 500, for 900, which helped an average person to know that, oh, even if you're not so premium, you can actually get a meal for 500. Which other brand? I think they have Tasty Fried Chicken. Tasty Fried Chicken too. Well, I can't really say much about them. But one thing I can say for Mr. Biggs is if they still try to appeal to the young, to the children, I mean, if they create an experience, a lovely experience in which children can come in and then they are so excited, the same way we were usually excited about amusement park then when we were young, like, oh, amusement park, you get to see horses, you get to ride on this and that. So if they can create a lovely appeal to a particular set of audience, target market, I think they can still gain the children. So they just need to come up with things the children will love to do, how the children will feel excited and happy when they're in any Mr. Biggs environment. And I think, of course, when children begin to cry for something, their parents will have to budge and get them whatever. And also, this delivery stuff, I think you can order online from Chicken Republic and order online from Domino's and others. I don't think you can order online from Mr. Biggs. So yeah, those are my few observations.
Okay. So what do you think, Mr. Biggs lack? So you're saying that they lack the knowledge about people and that experience as well.
Is that question from?
Yeah. I'm asking you.
Yes,
I'm
so
just trying to conclude. I'm
they
just trying to summarize what you said.
in terms of people, they fail to zero in on a particular target audience. They fail to create a unique product, like a unique product. They fail to create a particular experience to their target audience.
Okay. So Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. Alpha.
But I think for me, basically, they have a lot of work to do. First of all, their brand experience no longer matches with their brand promise, in the sense that a lot of people have lost confidence in the markets as regards Mr. Biggs. Now, for them to get back to the game, they have to first of all work on their brand promises first. Okay, what do people get to gain when they walk into Mr. Biggs? Then they have a strength that works for them that they've not been using currently. It's a brand that has been there over years. Now, Mr. Biggs had failed to evolve with the trend of how the market started. I remember they started first. Then we saw Tantalizer on Spring Up. Then I felt they were equally complacent. They felt, just like BlackBerry, the case of BlackBerry, the case of Nokia. We've been in this industry. We started this industry. We could stay in this industry, but it didn't actually work that way. So they failed to equally evolve with the trend of what was happening in their own sector, in their own markets. So for them to come back, they really, really have to first get people to trust them, get people to trust on their promise. What are the things they say? Sometimes people don't really like the meal. People don't appreciate the meal. When people begin to appreciate the meal, they can begin to put out a consistent narrative, a conscious narrative about the brand Mr. Biggs. Okay, this is what we're promising. This is what we're going to deliver, and stay on it. So I feel that will go a long way.
So in short, they fail to understand people and fail to create the experience around that. Okay. So there's another person, Michael.
Hello, this is Michael.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I support the last speaker. What I want to add is that they were not consistent. I remember when they started, they had this small section within their hall. They always have a small section for children where children play. They have swings there, they have slides, they have a lot of attractive stuff for children. In no time, you started seeing some branches that did not have that at all. Some had it outside the premises, some had it within the hall, some didn't have it at all. And another thing I think they didn't do is that, because I know most eateries have franchises, they did not monitor those franchisees. Those people that were buying into the franchise were not closely monitored. Some don't even use the, how will I say it? They were not consistent in the dishes that they give to people. You want to see moi moi that is consistent with the one you ate on the island. But some franchisees were not using the same recipe. You want to see rice that makes sense. Some rice started making nonsense of it all. And then lastly, you started seeing some eateries that sprang up after they started going into African dishes. Mr. Biggs tried to go into it too, but they did not talk about it. They just started having African dishes. They did not even know. Unless they ask, they will not know if they had it. So I think what they should do is, if they want to come back, they should have flagship branches that will be consistent with the kind of experience they want to give people. then they can now start selling franchise again. But before they do that, they need to be consistent with what they promised in the beginning and give people experiences. I've not seen eateries that remember children's birthday. So if you can go into that aspect alone, giving the family an experience, telling them that, oh, tomorrow is your 2-year-old child's birthday. We have a special package for him. Let him come. The playground has been decorated with his favorite color. I mean, I as a father, I would like to quickly take my child there. That, oh, Mr. B said we should come. Oh, that they have something for you. My child doesn't care if I'm to pay. What my child cares is that they entered Mr. Biggs, they saw Ayomide, happy birthday Ayomide. The child will be so happy and feel special. I've not seen any tree that does that. So I believe if they work on experience that they give people, people will easily come back. Nobody went into a pact not to patronize Mr. Biggs. It's just because they fell out of favor. So if they do all those things, they'll come back into the reckoning.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks so much. So I'm quite happy about the responses. So one key learning for me from what all of you have said is Mr. Biggs failed to understand people, right? They fail to understand the fact that people evolve and they have to evolve with people. One, people want you to be consistent with what you push, and they fail to understand that. And they also fail to understand that people want experiences beyond the product or the services you are giving. And they fail to be consistent about the experience as well. So I think what Biodu mentioned is a very valid one. Now, Mr. B started off as a brand that targeted the kids, which is an excellent one. Fantastic. There's nothing wrong about that. But you should understand that as a brand, if you target the kids will grow up, right? So it is now left for you to keep those kids that are growing up and also attract the new ones. So let me give you an example of a brand that did so well with that. Indomie. Indomie, when Indomie started, it was targeted towards kids, basically kids. But they now began to discover that kids and young adults, they discovered that now these kids are becoming adults, right? So does that mean that when you become an adult, you don't take Indomie again? So they began to create specific products that are targeted towards those kids that have now grown up. And they began to have something like Hungry Man. I'm sure you know Hungry Man is not for a small child. Even the name says Hungry Man. So it's for the man or for the hungry woman. Yeah. And they evolved with that. I think GT Bank did fantastic with that as well. When they started, they were targeting students, very vibrant young people and all of that. But then these students finished from school, they began working and all of that. And they were consistent with their products and they created products specific they evolved with that as well. So another thing about Mr. Big is that they were not consistent. They were really not consistent. And consistency creates a unique brand perception about any product or any service. Now, when you think about Fela, you remember specific things about Fela. When you think about whiskey, you remember specific things about whiskey. When you think about Apple as a product, you remember specific things about Apple. When you think about Boko Haram, like I said, Boko Haram is also a brand. You think about specific things about Boko Haram. So they began to split in people's mind. They began to, today, Mr. Big is good. Tomorrow, Mr. Big is not good. Today, Mr. Big is innovative. Tomorrow, they are not innovative. Today, Mr. Big is dirty. Because I remember that one of the reasons why I didn't even visit Mr. Big's again was the fact that their restaurants looked, at some point, began to look so untidy, right? So they were not consistent with the look and feel of the brand. So again, in summary, so let me just say this in summary. 3 things are important when you want your design to change the world. first people, understanding of people, then knowledge about those people, then the experience you've created around those people. So these three things are quite important. Now, anything, any kind of design you are doing, you are creating it for human beings, right? There's a concept called human-centered design, specifically understanding the anatomy and psychology of humans to create designs for them, right? And I can simply create something very simple, and then that thing could change the perception of the world. I can create something quite complex, and it won't change anything. So basically, understanding people gives you direction as to what exactly to create and how to create it, and the kind of experience to create out of it. So, if, in the absence of any more questions, so I think we are done. Mary, hello, Mary.
Yes,
So, do you have any more questions?
I don't think so. I think everybody.
Coca-Cola knew my mom. Okay, knows me and will most likely know my. Oh, excellent, excellent. So this thing that Mary wrote a few minutes ago. Coca-Cola knew my mom. Coca-Cola knows you, and most likely know your child. Excellent. That's a fantastic brand that has evolved over the years, right? And they've disrupted the world. And it's very simple. See, Coca-Cola is human-centered. As simple as that. Human-centered. And they focus on experience. Human-centered and experience. Right? To the tiniest of their products. You look at Coca-Cola bottle is designed for humans, like specifically for human functionality. Right? Coca-Cola created an experience some times ago, and it's called, I think it's selfie bottle or something. So what Coca-Cola did was, okay, I'll take a question, Victor. What Coca-Cola did was they attacked a selfie, like a selfie camera to, so it was a separate product. So you just put it at the bottom of your Coke bottle, and then while taking the Coke, you can take pictures. It's fantastic because it was during a time where selfie was a big deal. They understand people, so they created experience around that behavior, right? And there was a time they did this customized Coke where you can have names also. So, Victor said you mentioned some brands that have successfully changed their behavior pattern. He also said that design can only trigger changes. Is it correct to say that these brands are also triggered these changes, or they designed these changes? Hello, Victor. Can you actually talk? I want to understand what you mean exactly. Hello, Victor. Is Victor there? Or who understands?
He's here.
Okay.
Victor is here.
Yeah, Victor. Yeah, Victor.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, you mentioned that all these changes can only be triggered. So my question is just all these brands that they successfully changed their behavior pattern. You said something about WhatsApp. The WhatsApp changed from an instant message app to a community. So my question is, did they design these things intentionally? Like, is it like they have a plan that they designed the behavior? These are the way we want these people to do, and they design their apps or their product to support all these things, or they just created something that triggered it. Like, okay, we are just setting the path for you to follow. So that's my question.
So now what you're saying is that if they designed this product specifically to perform those functions, or they just designed and then at some point it began to trigger those changes. Is that your question? Hello, Victor. Is that your question?
Yes, that's my question.
Okay, so great. So this is the difference between an art.
Yes, that is my question.
Okay, I'm trying to answer your question. So this is the difference between an art and a design. So if you create something, right, without the intention of function, it is merely an art, a piece of art. The moment you attach function to it, it becomes a design. So the difference between an art and a design is just function, right? So because all of those products you're talking about, they are there's return on investment attached to them. They are specifically designed for the company to make some money out of it. So they are intentional about everything they do. So let's take for instance, Facebook. Facebook was started practically with the intention to create a community online where you can connect people around the world, as simple as that. That was the intention, which was a design, very specific. But then you should also understand that with the knowledge about people, that people evolve over the years. Because now you've connected people, people want more. What else? So beyond connecting people, what if I can share my story? What if I can share my mood? What if I can share my experiences? So Facebook evolved over the years to solve those specific problems. But the clear thing is that all of these products were created specifically to solve problems. So they were not created. But sometimes there are some brands that were created for certain reasons, and they discovered a behavior around another direction, right? It is the responsibility of the brand to hijack that behavior and see what to do with it. I'll give you a very good example. Um, there was a time that I think Lux, I think it was Lux. Lux is a bar soap also, yeah. It's a bar soap. So there was a time Lux discovered that there was an increase in sales, like a sporadic increase in sales. And they began to wonder that what probably would have caused this. And they did the research and discovered that instead of, practically Lux is meant for bathing, you now discovered that there are specific people, the celestial people, that will use Lux for spiritual purposes. They'll just use it for 5 minutes and throw it away and buy a new one. Remember that Lux wasn't created for that purpose, right? Well, because sometimes the way design behaves, it can open up some other, aspect that you were not thinking while creating the design. And it opened their eyes about the reality of the fact that because Lux was probably the only soap that came in white color, and that was why the Celestial began to adopt it. So they probably would just leverage on that and say, okay, what can we do around that to maximize our opportunity? You get. Have I answered your question, Victor? I guess so. Um, in the absence of any no other question, I think you are good to go. Mary, so thank you guys for having me around.
Yes, thank you so much. I think the listeners
And you guys should stay at home.
yes.
Because of 1 million boys. 1 million boys.
Yeah.
Are they actually 1 million in number? How many are there?
It can't be 1 million. It can't be a garden of 1 million people in Lagos, and then and then we'll not know we'll not know their location.
I like the brand. The brand. Oh, what a fantastic brand name.
Yeah. Yeah. So In the absence of any other questions, are there any other questions? Does any other person have a question or any suggestions or any comments or anything you'd like to add?
Or any addition?
Okay. So, in the absence of that, we'll be, bringing this meeting to a close. Thank you so much, for sharing today. It's really been an insightful session for, I believe, for everyone. And so we recorded this session, and I think hopefully we'll be able to send the recording of this session for those who like to listen to it again. Yeah, for those who like to listen to it again. And then I just want to mention that so we have some design trainings coming up for anyone who would like to, acquire design skills or improve on their design skills. We have some training coming up. We have training in graphic design, animation, and UI UX beginning on Monday. So registration is still on, but registration is supposed to close today. So I think it's extended tomorrow. Yeah, registration is supposed to close today. So anybody that wants to apply, that wants to, take any of those courses can just reach out to either Biodun, myself, or Gozi on the group, or just send an email to us. Our contact details are always in every of our mails, so you can send us an email. The courses are not free though, but the prices have been, really, really slashed. Yeah, so that will be about all for now. Again, any addition, subtraction, comment, rejection, anything.
Yeah, but I like rejections.
Okay. So, in the absence of, any other
I think
thing.
people should go and learn from Naira Marley.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Naira Marley has.
Don't say Naira Marley is some issue.
Yes, there's a lot to learn from him actually. He's a very.
You don't sound
Yes,
convinced, Mary.
No,
Mary,
no,
you
no.
don't sound convincing.
No. I'm
I'm
agreeing with
talking
you.
against your faith.
No. I'm agreeing with you. The guy has captured the heart of almost all. There's no where you go to that you will not get Naira Marley. Or the guy definitely has something that is getting right. In the minds of people. So.
Naira Marley. I heard he's starting a fashion line.
And it's going to sell.
Obviously, because people will not buy product, people will buy experience.
Yeah.
And understands people. I'm sure that the trousers will not come with birds.
The what? Yeah, most likely.
The product will be selling the brand story, the brand narrative.
Yeah, there will be some crazy things about it. Yeah.
So thank you guys. I think I have to leave right now.
Thank you so much, and very cool.
All right. So and if you have any more questions beyond here, you can always reach me. Reach me. I'll drop my contact here. I'll drop it on the chat here.
Okay. If you would like to get a slide, you can.
Okay.
Okay. So, thank you very, very much, everybody, for coming, making it for the meeting. If you'd like to join our WhatsApp group, we have a WhatsApp group too. You can, click on the link in the mail. I think it's also in the mail that we sent you the link to the WhatsApp group. And please let's be well mannered on the group, as we have seen so far. Thank you so much.
Manners.
I said let's be well mannered. If there's any book like that. Okay, so have a good evening. Can we end the call now? Any other person has anything to say? No. Okay, let's have a good evening then. We can begin to leave. Thank you so much.